So our Montbretia here in the garden has simply gotten too big for where it is. So I'm gonna dig it up and then I'm gonna divide it and share with other people. So I have my really cool, it's called a stoutespade in Danish, but I guess a perennial spade I got as a gift from some good friends. So that's really a nice one, really sharp, and I can really go down here, and don't be afraid when you take a perennial up here. It's really easy just to, yeah, I just get in there. There we go. And then you can divide it just in the middle, because they do have a bulb, so it's easily to grow again from a, here we go, see here, wow, a big one here, all lush. So I have gotten the first really big clump here. I'm just gonna put it down here, and I'm really gonna just go back in there and get some more, make sure I get a big area here, because it quickly will get bigger. So just make sure go under here, because they do have bulbs, so you want to make sure you get all these bulbs, the whole plant here, and then you can just divide it already here. Put some power into it. There you go. That's free exercise here. There we go. Here's another. Look at those roots here. There we go. I'll start with these two. We just dug up this Montbretia. It's a perennial that really grows nicely in the garden, and it flowers for a very long time. It flowers from July all the way to, now we are saying September, which is really amazing. It likes full sun, partially sun as well, and it gets these swords looking leaves, foliage here. And then here it flowers on a long stem, and then it has the flower buds is on both sides of the stem, which is pretty amazing. And it's actually in family with the iris, like gladiolus and freesia, but it's much hardier because it's a perennial. It does come back all the time, and it comes from a little bulb here, and that's also how it grows bigger. And that's how you can divide them. And autumn is really a great time. The ground here is really wet, so it's a great time to divide and move perennials to another area of the garden. So I have my big clump of the Montbretia here with all the bulbs here growing together. So actually when I divide them, I just do like this. I just pull them gently apart. This one is really a tough perennial though, so it will always come back as long as you have slightly some roots on it. So here I have a nice clump here. I'm just gonna stick them in a pot here and just add some dirt. And there we go. And then I just keep it wet with some water. They do, like over here, I actually some days ago I also took one. As you can see, it looks pretty dead, but it's not. You just trim back the top here, and it will sprout from the base again. Because over here I have some, and like you can see, I trimmed the top here, and then it sprouts from the bottom there again. So when talking about this Montbretia, when you divide it and place it in other areas of the garden, you can either plant it like this in a big clump, but what most important is that you get one of these bulbs along with it. So you could do the whole bunch or divide it in a smaller group, or actually just take one like this, but it's very important to get one of these bulbs here, and this one has really nice roots as well. They do, when it gets winter, all this kind of withers down, like this one over here. I'm just going to show you. It doesn't mean that the plant is dead, it just means like it will use all the energy down to the bulb. So this one, you could go ahead, I'll trim it back, and then it will get these green sprouts again and come really nicely. So it's not dead, it's just using the energy to suck it down in the bulb here. So in winter it dies, and a perennial always comes back in the spring, and it will grow from the base down there again. So you could actually just put one of these out in the garden or put it in a pot, and then within a few years it will be really a big clump again, or do the big one as you want to. I'm just going to plant this one here. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm just going to pull these apart. They're really tough. I like to really have almost like a handful. Maybe there's like maybe 10 bulbs in here, because I think that's a really good way of putting it out in the garden and then in different areas. So I'm actually just going to put these together. That's going to look nicely. Push it in there, get all the smaller ones. As you can see, they start getting small new ones. The new plants have really teeny tiny bulbs. This is how they really grow. There we go. And I'm just going to add here and keep it wet. So I'm actually just going to leave them in here in the greenhouse where they can settle in, and I'll keep them wet. And then some I'll keep in the greenhouse for things we'll have like local plant markets in the spring, and some of them I'll also in a few weeks here in the end of September I'm gonna place them out in the garden, so they have the whole winter to really establish some good roots and be ready for really nice blooming time in next summer. Just one more thing before I let you go. If you don't finish dividing your Montbretia here, which sometimes it happens for me as well, I just use a potting, like a little pot here, and just a regular old trash bag here, and then I can leave them in here. Just keep them really wet here. I just add a little bit of water, and here they can sit for a few days if you don't have the time to replace or repot them all, and then you can do it in the next few days when you have time. There we go.